Patrick Bet David just exposed Erika Kirk and JD Vance's alleged affair, and people are losing their minds.
Forgive me, did you see people didn't understand the hug that you and JD had? They went to the weirdest places, Erika.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
From allegations of replacing JD's current wife to rumored allegations of a plot to form the next political power couple. The internet is going crazy with all sorts of conspiracies, and Erika and JD don't seem to be denying them. So buckle up, guys, as we dive into one of the weirdest stories you have ever heard, and let's get to know why Erika Kirk said her love language was physical touch after she got asked about her weird relationship with JD Vance.
I'm a very... I hug is
yes,
like...
you're an intense hugger.
Whoever
it's awesome.
is like hating on a hug needs a hug themselves. I will give you a free hug anytime you want a hug. My love language is touch, if you will. But seriously, that hug... So if anyone...
They were acting like you touched the back of his ass.
I feel like I wouldn't get as much hate if I did that versus... But no, seriously, so now when I go and hug people, I'll bring them back in and be like, I obviously didn't give you the right hug. Like, come, let me touch the back of your head.
Go?
I don't know what to...
Now, I am sure we are all aware by now of that single 6-second hug that sent a seismic shockwave across the internet. A couple of weeks ago, at a Turning Point USA event in Mississippi, Vice President J.D. Vance and Erika Kirk, the widow of the assassinated Charlie Kirk, delivered a moment that instantly overshadowed the talking points. In an on-stage embrace that broke every protocol, Erika didn't offer a stiff political side hug. She went for a full, intimate hold, her hand sliding up to cradle the back of his head. Vance, in turn, reciprocated with a firm, two-handed grasp, one hand squarely on her hip. It was a hug that must have sent 1,000 divorce lawyers reaching for their phones, trying to get to J.D. Vance's wife, Usha. The visual contrast was jarring. This was a level of relaxed physical affection and comfort that J.D. Vance, who is famously reserved, has rarely, if ever, been photographed sharing with his own wife, Us. The conservative Christian advocacy for the side hug suddenly made very practical sense. The gossip mill, online and off, exploded into overdrive within minutes.
Baby, the way Erika Kirk hugged JD Vance on the stage the other night at that Turning Point event was given very cringy and very disrespectful. That is not the way you hug a married man. I don't care what nobody say.
Putting your hands in a man's hair when you hug him, that is a very intimate thing to do.
I told y'all this woman is not grieving. She's glowing. She's literally happier than a cat at a fish fry. Look at her.
Guys, the unspoken question was suddenly on every timeline. Are Erika Kirk and J.D. Vance having an affair? Erika herself poured gasoline on the speculation with her words from the same stage. "No one will ever replace my husband," she stated, before adding the crucial eyebrow-raising caveat. "No, but I do see some similarities of my husband and JD."
No one will ever replace my husband. No. But I do see some similarities of my husband in JD. And Vice President JD Vance. I do.
Now, you know the internet did its thing and went to work. Body language experts were summoned. Their analysis was damning for anyone hoping to dismiss the moment as innocent. They pointed to Erika's gravity-defying right shoulder lift at the initiation of the hug, a universal subconscious signal of positive feeling and total immersion in the moment. Then, the climactic gesture, her open palm cradling the back of his head. This isn't a professional pat. An open palm touch to the head is an intimate act of comfort and connection, reserved for close family, romantic partners, or moments of deep emotional support. In the sterile world of political theater, it screamed of a private familiarity being accidentally performed in public. The takeaway was brutal. This wasn't just a condolence hug. Between her words, finding her dead husband in the vice president, and the unchecked intimacy of their embrace, the narrative splintered. Now here we have two figures, Erika Kirk and J.D. Vance, who've built entire platforms on passing moral judgment and dictating how strangers should live their private lives, their families, their faith, their values. Yet, the second their own private behavior flashes in public, they cry foul over wild speculation. Commentary hosts like Patrick Bet David were quick to call the whole display just plain weird, but the fevered rumors about an affair have exposed something far more damaging than a personal scandal, a massive political liability. The hug didn't just reveal a possible intimacy, it spotlighted the cracking facade of J.D. Vance's own own curated brand. His political identity is now firmly hitched to the traditional corners of the MAGA movement, a world that loves the traditional way of doing things. In this world, a politician's wife isn't just a partner. She's a crucial prop, a visual testament to his dominance and ideological purity. And here lies the problem. Usha Vance. Usha is a Yale-educated lawyer, the daughter of Indian immigrants, a woman who maintains her Hindu heritage and identifies as agnostic. She is the antithesis of the evangelical Christian trophy wife that JD's base romanticizes, and that hug made it look like he wanted to change that. You see, Vance's marriage is, for his chosen political brand, an increasingly poor and awkward fit. This tension exploded into public view minutes after the hug, in the same Q&A session. When asked directly about navigating their interfaith marriage, Vance didn't celebrate their mutual respect or shared American values. He publicly confessed to a missionary project within his own home. After boasting that their children are being raised Christian, he stated, "I believe in the Christian gospel, and I hope eventually my wife comes to see it the same way." With that one answer, he completely mishandled the crisis. He didn't project strength, he projected condescension. He didn't unite his base. He highlighted the very flaw in his personal life that his politics condemn. In his clumsy attempt to placate the religious right, he publicly reduced his accomplished wife to a spiritual project in waiting, a problem to be solved for his political convenience. The hug with Erika Kirk was the spark, but his own words about his wife poured the gasoline. Now the spark of this drama was the hug, but the fuel came from what happened next. Usha Vance was recently photographed at Camp Lejeune without her wedding ring. The official, flimsy line from their camp is that with her busy life as a mother and professional, she simply forgets to wear it sometimes. But in the high-stakes, symbol-obsessed world of politics, especially the family values faction her husband champions, no one is buying it. A missing wedding ring isn't an oversight, it's a flare. Insiders now believe the hug was merely a symptom of a significant pre-existing rift between Usha and JD, and that the public spectacle has made things exponentially worse. The gossip has escalated from, are they having an affair, to concrete whispers of a potential divorce, with speculators already penciling in Erika Kirk as a potential future political wife. Facing a torrent of criticism for her inappropriate behavior, Erika Kirk went on the offensive with former Fox News anchor Megyn Kelly. Her defense was defiant, not apologetic. She claimed touching the back of someone's head during a hug is simply her way of saying God bless you, and told critics, if you want to take that out of context, go right ahead. Again, that to me shows that you need a hug more than anyone else. When Kelly pointed out the intense reaction, joking that people acted like she'd touched the back of his A, Erika fired back with a quip that shocked even her defenders. I feel like I wouldn't get as much hate if I did that. The attempt at levity backfired spectacularly. Critics slammed the response as deeply unclassy and provocative, with one noting it just proves the point that the whole thing crossed into weird territory. Instead of dampening the scandal, she poured gasoline on it, inviting the very imagery she was accused of avoiding. JD Vance, rather than distance himself, doubled down, awkwardly vouching for her by acknowledging Erika's love language is touch and echoing her disastrous joke, suggesting she'd have gotten less hate for the more intimate act. The takeaway is devastating. What began as a bizarre 6-second visual has spiraled into a marital crisis, symbolized by a missing ring and divorce rumors, a political liability highlighting the jarring disconnect between Vance's traditional values brand and his own family life. A self-inflicted wound through tone-deaf, defensive interviews that mocked public perception rather than addressed it. They're no longer just fighting rumors of an affair, they're fighting the perception of a callous, unprofessional, and hypocritical alliance that is destabilizing a potential presidency before it even begins. But here's Erika's and JD's inescapable problem, the political trap snapping shut. JD Vance's actual wife is a catastrophic mismatch for the trad wife fantasy that fuels his base. Usha Vance, a Yale law graduate, a successful attorney, the daughter of Indian immigrants, a woman of Hindu heritage and agnostic belief, is the living antithesis of the silent, submissive, evangelical helpmeet his base loves. She is a walking, talking repudiation of his own curated brand, and he is trapped. He can't simply divorce her and upgrade to a more politically suitable spouse, like say a performatively grieving widow who now leads a conservative movement. Why? Because he spent years weaving a public persona that condemns divorce culture and champions traditional family stability. To leave his wife would hang his own past quotes around his neck like a millstone. So instead of honesty, we are subjected to stories like the official story that Usha is so overwhelmed by the saintly, scrubbing drudgery of homemaking that she forgets her wedding ring is just implausible. There's a darker, more plausible read. This public diminishment isn't an accident, it's a strategy. Vance has a documented tendency to demean Usha in front of crowds, making unfunny jokes at her expense. According to some people, JD's petulant, often cruel online persona is no secret. This ring explanation fits the pattern. It's a public insult disguised as an excuse, possibly hoping she'll get so fed up she leaves him first, allowing him to play the wounded, abandoned husband. The result is a lose-lose-lose spectacle. He insults his wife's intelligence, he insults the public's, and he reveals his political brand as a flimsy facade, buckling under the weight of a reality it was never built to contain. The hug with Erika Kirk didn't create this crisis. It just flashed a spotlight on the hollow, cracking stage where Vance is desperately and failing to perform. So what do you think about this whole drama? Let me know your opinion in the comments, and don't forget to check out our previous videos for even more drama. Till next time, bye.